Have you ever felt so overwhelmed that you didn't even know where to start? I want to tell you that is so normal. Work with so many different people, and the one common thing everyone says is, I'm so embarrassed, I didn't even want to ask for help. And that always breaks my heart because I know there are so many people out there that are just so overwhelmed by life, by situations, that they find themselves in a place where they just need a helping hand. Today we are working in this mama's family room. She just recently got out of a very abusive marriage. And with that and everything else going on, she had a lot of her things not really packed, thrown into garbage bags, put at the side of the road, and a lot of her stuff was taken. So when she moved into this new place, she was just so overwhelmed. It was kind of a just drop it and go. Last time I was here was a couple weeks ago, and we worked in her kitchen and was able to get that in order. That way she can get back to cooking for her and her son. But today I wanted to go through the family room. This was an area that was just at a point where she was just looking at it and felt frozen. Didn't know where to start, what to do, where stuff should go. She's still trying to figure out even the basics of getting new furniture since she lost all of her furniture and everything. So I let her know, we're just going to start in one corner. One corner, start figuring out what we're tossing, what is garbage, what is donations, and what are we actually going to keep. I let her know that often things do get worse before it gets better, but doing this phase that I like to call organized chaos is always the first thing. So taking things that belong in her son's room and just putting it in her son's room. We can get to her son's room on another day. Things that belong in her bedroom and just putting it in her bedroom. But we have to figure out where things go, what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of to even start the process of being able to organize. And I just want you to know, if you are someone that is feeling embarrassed by your situation, just know this is a safe place. We have a rule here, and everyone that's been around for a while already knows this rule. If you have nothing nice to say, please do not say anything at all, because there are so many situations why people are in the situation that they are in. And I am definitely not the person that's going to come on here and yell at you to clean your house because you're lazy, because we all know for 99% of people, that's just not the situation. I have helped dozens of people over the years, and there's always been big reasons to why things get bad. If it's dealing with some sort of ADHD or something like that, or in this situation, physical abuse that has just wrecked her situation. Like, there's so many different areas that can have people struggling. And sometimes it's just that you're a mom and you've got a bunch of kids to keep alive, and it's a pick and choose of, do I take care of this crazy mess that my 3-year-old made, or do I take him to the park and have fun with my kids? There's always situations. I am not here to judge. I am just here to hopefully give you guys a helping hand of jump-starting an area in your house. I will say, I think one of the hardest things, though, that we were tackling is, I was telling her we have to go through every single box, every single item. And that can be so daunting. Like, you so badly just want to take a box and put it to the side because that would be quick and easy, but it doesn't actually get the job done. And you guys know me, this is real life. I would love to say in the 3 hours I was here on this day, we got it all done. But that was not real life. That was not the real situation, because we wanted to go through everything, figure out truly what we're keeping, what we're getting rid of, what was just trash that had been thrown into these boxes. This is how you maintain it. So often we get so worried about having things perfect and perfect quickly that we get lazy about it. And that's why I always tell people, work on the progress. Don't focus so much on the perfection. Perfection will come. However, if you start taking shortcuts, that is when you're going to find yourself falling back into these vicious circles. so much quicker. So just pick a small box, pick a small corner of the room. It doesn't have to be everything in one day, and do that small area, but do it truly to the best of your ability.
Let me know, do you feel me too? Let it show, 'cause babe, I'm into you.
She was so sweet during this whole day of getting stuff done. I often offer to take things out of their house right away to donations and everything, but she really wanted to donate this to a local shelter by her house that specifically works with troubled teens. It gives them jobs, working at the donation facility, and helps get them back on their feet. So on this day, I did not take any of the donations. We just got them all packed away into an area so that the next day she would be able to take it to that specific shelter she wanted to take it to. But I also want to give you guys the right, if you are in a situation where you're just feeling overwhelmed and you just need to get it out of your life, because so many of us get to that point where it's like, okay, we'll take it to donations, but then it just sits and sits and sits. If it's going to be easier, obviously I'm always an advocate for donating, or even throwing it on Facebook, your local moms group or local free like curb alert site. And even if it's doing that, I'm always an advocate for it. But if you can't, give yourself the permission to just let it go. Just throw it out. I realize that is not the best situation, but there are some situations where that is going to be best for you, and I want you to do what is best for you. We always want to get better and work harder on ourselves, but we also have to give ourselves grace sometimes to just let things go. I also always get asked how I go through stuff, especially since a lot of the stuff is not mine. So if I know it is trash, and I have certain questions I ask people, say I'm like in a kid's room, I will ask, okay, if I see little things like this, in general, would you be okay with this being trash or no? And once we kind of have a baseline of what's trash, what's donations, then anything else, I always ask, is this keep, donate? I am always going back to the homeowner. It is very important for them to have full control over what they keep, what they give away. Now, I also am usually a sounding board when they're trying to figure out, okay, should I keep it? Shouldn't I keep it? And that's when I ask them simple questions. Do you still love this? That's an easy one. Yes or no. Have you used it in the past 6 months to a year? Because if that's a no, 99% of the time, if you have not used something in 6 months to a year, you should get rid of it. Now, I say 99% of the times because there are certain situations. I have a little black dress that I always come back to. I haven't worn it in years. I haven't had a reason to wear it in years, but there is always situations that come up, the sad one usually being funerals, that I'm going to need that little black dress. So do I wear it on a regular basis? Absolutely not. Do I hold on to it? Yes, I do, because I don't feel like going out and buying a new funeral dress when needed. Now, that is not the normal though. So keep that in mind. But if you are really, really struggling with the decluttering process, I want you to start with the obvious yes and no's. Anything that's a maybe, put to the side. If it's a yes, put it in a yes pile. If it's a no, get rid of it immediately. Often when it comes to decluttering, that once you get started, once you get that warm up, you're going to be so much more motivated to keep going. And so many people want to say like trash isn't decluttering. If it is in your house and it's not supposed to be, it is decluttering. So if you want to go around with a black garbage bag and just collect all the trash, that is 100% is decluttering. Start with something easy. Also, don't feel like you have to be the perfect declutterer at the very first time you do it. Sometimes it takes time. You may do it today, and then in 3 weeks, do it again, and then in 3 weeks, do it again. Bobby, my husband, is actually the perfect example. For years, I have been working with him to downsize his clothing. He has always had so much clothes and way more than me, and it's t-shirts. Let me know if you're a man or if you have a husband. Do they have a crazy obsession with t-shirts? Because Bobby always did. It was insane. He had an entire one of those tall boy dressers just full of t-shirts. That's the only thing that was in it. And I had even KonMari style folded them, and they were still bursting at the seams. But every 6 months, we would go through his clothing, get rid of things that he hasn't been wearing and everything. And now after, it's probably been like 5 years of doing this, he has a very manageable, realistic wardrobe. But it took 5-6 years to get us to that point. And once you realize it's not a one and done, and it may take you time, I feel like that takes so much of the pressure away. Another great thing is to set timers. I know it can look like I get so much done in these 3 hours, but I can promise you, I get so much more done in these 3 hours at someone else's house than I would ever get done at my house. Because 3 hours at my house always gets interrupted. The baby wants to be held. Freya needs some water. The boys have questions. Bobby needs help with something outside. Like, there's always something getting in the way. However, this is not a timer that I have set, but I have set aside 3 hours to strictly help these people out. And you can see by setting a timer where it's like, no, I'm going to do this, nothing else for this set amount of time, I get so much done. And you can put this on a much smaller scale. Give yourself 15 minutes. Tell your family, hey, I'm going to spend 15 minutes working on the closet decluttering. Leave me alone. If you need something, go ask your dad. Something like that. But give yourself 15 minutes. You would be so surprised when you dedicate time to a project, how much you can actually get done in a very short amount of time. And then once you have that time set and your house is back to where you're comfortable, the funny thing is those things that were so overwhelming feel so much less overwhelming, and you just need to take 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening to maintain it. It seems far out for now if you are in a situation of dread and you have just too much stuff, but I promise you, start small, stay consistent, and you will get there. It does take patience, but always remember it's progress over perfection.
She goes her own way, like I don't give a damn girl. And my God, she owns it. So many heartbreaks, goes back to 2014. And I think that she knows it. And if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it. Cause I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Everyone's taking their shot, but missing out on the cut. I think she knows that. She drives them crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes them want it so bad.
One thing we were talking about, and it's funny because this is probably one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time, is paper clutter. What do I do with the paper? It's so overwhelming. There's so much of it. And I told her exactly what I like to tell people on here. Put it to the side. Paper clutter is one of those things that it is something that can be very daunting. It's time consuming. It's tedious. Man, I swear, the tedious jobs are the worst. But put it to the side, put it in a bin, put it in a bag. The great thing about paper clutter is you can do it from wherever. So we made specific bin bag of paper that I put to the side. That way, and I let her know, I'm like, when you are watching your favorite TV show tonight, pick a small pile and just start going through it while you're watching the TV. This doesn't have to be overwhelming, and it's one of those things of if you're sitting in bed at night, grab a small box, go through it. It's going to be one of those things that can be time consuming, but I don't want it to be overwhelming. Paper clutter is one of those things of once you get on top of it, staying on top of it is key, but It can be so simple by just spending a couple minutes every night to get on top of it, and then a couple minutes every week to not fall behind again. Going through these clothes, though, you could tell it was so just like emotionally draining on her, between clothes that reminded her of her past, clothes from her older daughters. You heard me talk about her son, but she also has older daughters that are out of the house in college and everything. And just going through the emotions of everything, talking it out. I tell these women all the time that not only am I here to help, but I also want to be an ear for them. So often they're going through stuff and they just need someone to listen. They just need a friendly ear to talk to. Just having someone sit there with you and talk and listen and help you make decisions can make the biggest difference in the world. So if you have someone that's willing to help you, please don't feel embarrassed and reach out. It can make a huge difference in your life. And I can say, as someone that helps people, I love doing this. I love being able to help. It also brings so much joy to me to help other people. So if you are someone that's feeling embarrassed to ask for help and you have a friend, I highly encourage you to just have them see if they'll come over and just sit and chit chat with you as you get stuff done. I know as someone that I would do that for any of my friends. If any of my friends or family reached out and was like, I just need someone, I need an ear to listen, I need a friend to help, I would be there in a heartbeat. And I'm sure so many of you have people in your life that would be willing to do the exact same thing. Because we also need to remember, so often we are our own worst enemies. Like, we probably talk worse to ourselves than we would to a stranger on the internet. And trust me, as someone who has lots of strangers on the internet talking some mad shia, that's saying something. But it's true. Like, I will down talk myself so much more than anyone else has ever done it. And we're all the same. We talk worse about ourselves than anyone else. We are our own worst enemies. So stop being your own worst enemy. Let us hype you up. I would love, if you are struggling with something, to leave it in the comments below, because I truly believe, in the many years I have been on YouTube building this community and getting to know each and every one of you, this is the best community on YouTube. Everyone is so uplifting and willing to help each other out. So if you need a prayer request, if you're just struggling and you need advice, or if you want to put down below where you are struggling and just need people to encourage you, I highly recommend doing that, because I can guarantee you are going to find people in the comments to look out for you. And actually, talking about that, I have been talking with Marissa. Marissa is the one with the 2 daughters that we ended up having a play date at our house and everything, that I have been helping for a couple weeks as well. I want to start a Facebook group just for my Helping Hand series. One, because this is such an amazing community. I would love to get us a Facebook group to intermingle. But also, so many of you say you want to help people out, don't know how to find people to help. And I think it would be absolutely amazing to start a group for people that need help, could post to get people to help them, as well as people that want to help to connect with the people who need help. I obviously can't go everywhere. I get so many messages from people that live in different states, different countries, all over the world, and sometimes people in Florida, but Florida is a very, very big state, so they're hours away, and I can't help everyone. I think it'd be really cool to take this amazing, uplifting community we have here on YouTube and create a group on Facebook where we can all connect, we can ask advice, we can go help others, all the things, and just have that for us, our safe space to come and just worry about our things, I don't even know how to put it, but you know what I mean. I'm sorry. You guys know I ramble sometimes. This is just who I am. I am here sitting talking with friends, and sometimes I like ramble on and then my brain goes blank and I'm like, I don't even remember what I was talking about. So let's get back to the music.
If you believe in love, how will I feel it? If you believe in me, how will you let me in? If you are ready, how do I reach you? I'm thinking about us, you're thinking about it too. Higher and higher, I'm gonna raise the flag. Fire, oh fire, send out a flare to find.
I will say, going through the clothes, this was probably the longest process. There were so many bags to go through. And like I said, we were going through it all piece by piece to make sure we were doing it correctly. But it is very important when you are doing a big declutter to make sure you have a lot of black garbage bags, or in our cases, as we emptied boxes, that pile by the door is all donations. So anytime I had a new empty box, I put it by the door so that we could start filling it with even more donations to go through. But the other hard thing here is, because of her situation, losing half of her stuff, it made it difficult because we couldn't get rid of everything, because some stuff was like, okay, can we find the piece that was missing, or is this just garbage now? Is it missing stuff that we can't fix anymore? So it was very much a tedious thing. Make sure you also always go through your wallets and stuff. Anytime she had like a wallet or a purse or something she was going to donate it, I made sure that I went through it, took everything out. One, you don't want to be losing a credit card or money or something, but also you don't want the wrong person getting their hands on some private information. So make sure you go through those pockets of any purse or wallet you are getting rid of. Honestly, even pants. I like to go through the pockets of any clothing that we're wearing just to make sure we have gone through it all.
We're up and away, we're around the world together, so up and away, come again, it's now or never, we're going away, you never know what we will find behind the line, behind the line.
Also, don't be shocked if it feels more overwhelming and messy and chaotic as you go. That is very normal, but that is the other reason I highly recommend people just let the things go. I all the time have people ask me if they should sell it to recoup some of their money. And in some situations, I tell people yes, but honestly, I am one of these people that if you're struggling and you've got too much stuff and you just don't know what to do, I feel like selling it often is a great idea, but doesn't usually come to fruition. Like, we have the best of intentions, like, okay, I'm going to take photos, I'm going to list this, I'm going to make some of my money back. But then 6 months later, it's still sitting in the random room, the basement, the closet, the whatever, because we're still stuck in the rotation of trying to get back to ground zero. And if you are at that point, that is when I recommend just donate it. It can feel very overwhelming. I know you've spent so much money on it and everything, but how much is your mental health worth? How much is your time worth? There's so much you get back when you just let the things go that I think is very much worth it in the end. If you are like dead set on wanting to sell certain things, because I do realize certain things are valuable and it's like can be gut-wrenching to just let it go, even though you should. Give yourself a time limit. I have 30 days to post, list, and sell this and actually get it out of my house. If you haven't done it in 30 days, that's when you should just let it go. Often I find if I give myself a time frame, I'm more likely to get it done. But then also if I haven't gotten it done, that is a really good sign that, okay, I still haven't done it. So maybe now I should just say enough is enough. It is worth my sanity to just let it go to someone in need.
Went for a walk with the stars last night. Did not believe that I would end up right. Lucky endings were.
Now, like I said earlier, we did not get as much done as I was hoping, and unfortunately, I do not have before and after shots for you. I was planning on coming over the next day, and she ended up messaging me just saying, hey, I am so mentally exhausted by this that can we reschedule? And I told her absolutely. This is actually one of the reasons why I try and do 1 day a week with people for 3 or 4 hours, because I know not only is this physically exhausting, but mentally it can be so exhausting, which is why I talk to you guys about that all the time, because it's easy to think, oh, I'm just too physically tired to do that. Absolutely, we all do that, but we forget about the mental exhaustion that comes with these things. But I also like to be real with you guys. Sure, I love the dramatic before and afters and everything's beautiful at the end, but that's not always real life. It's not always real life for me, and I know for a lot of you, it's not always real life for you. So I hope this video gave you some motivation to get up and get going in your house. If you guys made it this far, I would love if you would drop me this emoji down below, but otherwise, I will see you guys on Friday. Bye.